The world's 10th richest 2025 rich people are ranked 8th in Buffett, 6th in Google, and 13.84 billion in the world's first asset, which is called the human-shaped printing machine. In the world's latest 2025 wealth map, the total wealth of 10,000 rich people has exceeded $10 trillion, exceeding the total GDP of Germany, Japan, and Australia. Among them, the growth of wealth led by the technology industry is particularly significant, such as the founders of Tesla and SpaceX. With its innovation in the field of electric cars and space exploration, personal net assets have reached tens of billions of US dollars. In addition, the rampant development of the artificial intelligence field has also spurred new wealth giants. Today, let's take a look at the world's 10 richest people in 2025. 10. Huang Renshun. Huang Renshun is one of the most legendary entrepreneurs in the world's technology industry, the leader of the artificial intelligence revolution. Many people may not know that this super-rich man, now worth $1,279 billion, used to be just a young immigrant washing dishes in a restaurant. Huang Renshun was born in Tainan, Taiwan, in 1963. In his childhood, he moved between Taiwan and Thailand. Although life is not considered rich, at least there is no worry. However, in 1973, Huang Renshun's first life was pushed into an abyss by fate. The situation in Thailand was turbulent, and his parents decided to send him and his brother to an American boarding school. In this way, two little boys were sent on a flight to Kentucky, USA. In order to survive, Huang Renshun had to quickly adapt to the rules and language here. Huang Renshun was crazy about learning English. In order to make pocket money, he began to travel in the restaurant with a heavy tray. But there is one thing that he always believed in. Knowledge is the only weapon for him to change his fate. With his excellent math and physical talent, Huang Renshun went to the University of Oregon to major in electronic engineering. Later, he entered Stanford University and obtained a master's degree. After graduation, he entered companies such as AMD and LSI Logic and became a chip design engineer. But he soon realized that his work could not change the world. In 1993, 30-year-old Huang Renshun decided to bet everything on founding NVIDIA and focusing on developing high-performance graphics chips. However, it was not so easy to start a business. When NVIDIA was just established, the market was not optimistic about this new company at all. There were no big customers and no stable funds. In 1995, the company almost went bankrupt. He and his team even had to rely on loans to pay the salary. In 1997, NVIDIA developed Riva 128 graphics card and became the world's first GPU with 3D acceleration. In 1999, NVIDIA was successfully listed, and Huang Renshun's wealth began to grow. But he knew this was just the beginning. In the 2010s, if you asked a game player what NVIDIA was, they would answer without hesitation that it was the first graphics card brand. But if you ask what NVIDIA is today, most people may answer that it is the heart of artificial intelligence computing. All this came from Huang Renshun's gamble. In 2012, when the global tech giant was still immersed in the internet hype of smartphones, Huang Renshun noticed a bigger storm: artificial intelligence. He found that when researchers studied models in depth, NVIDIA's GPU performance was far stronger than traditional CPUs. This made him realize that AI is not just a software revolution, but a computational architecture revolution. So NVIDIA quickly transformed its GPU applications from the gaming field to AI computing. In 2016, NVIDIA launched the Tesla P100, a must-have chip for AI training. In 2020, NVIDIA released the A100 GPU. AI computing rose rapidly, and the market demand exploded. In 2023, NVIDIA's market value broke through $1 trillion and became one of the most valuable tech companies in the world. In 2024, it even surpassed Microsoft for a short time and became the world's #1 company. In this way, Huang Renshun's personal wealth rose from $3 billion to $1 trillion in 5 years. He broke into the top 10 richest people in the world. The story of Huang Renshun, the dominant figure in the AI era, from the immigrant boy who washed the dishes, is more worth remembering than the numbers on the wealth list. Can he continue to lead the trend in the future AI era? Can Nvidia still maintain its position as the king? Let's wait and see. Number 9. Steve Ballmer. There is always a man more excited than a player on the NBA court. He stands by the court, his face red and his neck thick, as if he is ready to rush to the court at any time. His shout is more shocking than the commentator, and he even jumps up when he is excited. He is Steve Ballmer, former Microsoft CEO, and now the boss of the NBA Los Angeles Fast team. He is the 9th richest man in the world, with a net worth of $12.43 billion. Ballmer was born in a typical middle-class family. His father was a senior manager at Ford Motor Company. His family was well off, and his grades were excellent. In 1973, he entered Harvard University and majored in applied mathematics and economics. Here he met Bill Gates, the key figure who influenced his life. At that time, Bill Gates had begun to think about starting a business, and Ballmer is still a typical top student. Although they were roommates, they didn't have much interaction. In 1977, Ballmer graduated from Harvard and entered a cleaning company as a product manager. At that time, he had a clear plan for his future. He entered a big company and became a senior manager to make money. Until 1980, Bill Gates called him and asked if he wanted to join Microsoft. At that time, Microsoft was just a small company with only 30 employees. It didn't even have a formal management system. Ballmer hesitated and accepted the $50,000 annual salary. He became the first Microsoft business manager. On Microsoft's white paper, Ballmer's management talent was quickly shown. He helped Microsoft build a sales system. The better the product is sold, the faster Windows will become the most popular operating system in the world. Microsoft also turned from a small company to a global software giant. Its market value has broken through $1 trillion. In 1998, he was promoted to Microsoft CEO. In 2000, Bill Gates officially handed over the baton. Ballmer became Microsoft CEO. Looking back at Ballmer's 14 years as Microsoft CEO, Microsoft's annual revenue has increased from $2.5 billion to $7 billion. Its net profit has tripled. But at the peak of his career, he made the biggest mistake in his career. He missed the smartphone revolution. In 2007, when Jobs released the iPhone, Ballmer laughed directly. Who would buy a $500 cell phone without a keyboard? No one would use it. The fact is that he made a big mistake. The iPhone not only subverted the mobile internet, Microsoft's Windows Phone was also completely eliminated by the market. This mistake led to Microsoft's complete failure in the mobile market. The market value was once flattened. Google was far behind. In 2014, Ballmer announced his resignation and officially said goodbye to Microsoft. But he didn't sink because of it. Instead, he won the craziest investment of his life. In 2014, Ballmer spent $2 billion to buy the NBA Los Angeles Fast Boat team. At that time, the former boss of the Fast Boat team was forced to sell his team due to racial discrimination rumors. Many investors were hesitating, but Ballmer took action without hesitation. $2 billion, cash payment, no price reduction. This price directly broke the record for the highest acquisition of the NBA team in history. Everyone thought he was crazy. But today, the market value of the Fast Boat has risen to $46.5 billion. It has doubled. It is worth mentioning that although Ballmer left Microsoft, his wallet is obviously gone. In 2023, he earned $1 billion just by sharing Microsoft's stocks. In July 2024, Microsoft's stock price rose by 21%. Ballmer's wealth has once again surpassed the world's 6th largest rich man. In 2025, his net assets reached $124.3 billion, ranking 9th in the world. In addition, he also set up his own charity foundation, which has donated more than $4 billion in total. It is dedicated to children's mental health and poverty. In general, Steve Ballmer missed the smartphone, but he caught the NBA and cloud computing. He is Microsoft's money-shaking tree and the greatest hero of the Fast Boat team. Do you think Ballmer is a business genius or just luck? Welcome to share your thoughts in the comments section. 8. Warren Buffett. Can you imagine a 94-year-old man reading the company's financial reports every day, analyzing market data, and managing an investment empire worth more than $7.7 billion? This man is Warren Buffett. In 2025, his wealth reached $1.4 billion, ranking 8th in the world. His life is almost all about one thing: investment. Let's go back to August 30th, 1930. At that time, the U.S. was going through a big economic downturn, and the streets were full of unemployed people. Ordinary families were struggling for warmth. But in this chaotic era, Buffett showed extraordinary talent for making money. At the age of 6, he earned pocket money by selling candy and sending newspapers. At the age of 11, he bought the first stock in his life, and he understood the principle of money before money. At the age of 13, he began to officially pay taxes and sent the money for newspapers to commercial income. At this age, most children are still playing with mud, and Buffett has begun to study how to avoid taxes. When he was in high school, he put the game console in the barber shop, and he easily earned the first coin in his life by relying on the client's money. At that time, he realized that making money is far more effective than working hard to make money. In 1950, 20-year-old Buffett entered Columbia University's business school. There, he met the investment master who influenced his life, Benjamin Graham. Graham can be said to be the ancestor of value investment. He taught Buffett a simple but profound investment philosophy: buy cheap goods and hold them for a long time. Buffett's shield: the market is irrational, but the value is long-lasting. In 1956, Buffett founded his own investment company with $10,000 and began to look for stocks that were underestimated. In 1962, he found a bankrupt real estate company, Berkshire Hathaway. When everyone thought that this company was worthless, he decided to buy it and take over it. You may not be unfamiliar with the story behind it. Starting with the real estate company, Buffett gradually turned Berkshire Hathaway into an investment-controlled company. And with a precise investment perspective, he bought a series of world-class companies such as Coca-Cola. He bought it in 1988, and now he makes hundreds of millions of dollars in dividends every year. Apple. In 2016, when Apple's stock price was low, he bought it with a big hand, and now it has become the largest shareholder of Berkshire. There are also U.S. Transport, Merle Pizza, DQ, etc. These seemingly ordinary companies are now worth a lot of money. It is worth mentioning that Buffett is not the kind of rich man who runs around the world in luxury cars and mansions. On the contrary, his lifestyle is simply amazing. You see, he lives in an old house he bought for $310,000 in 1958, and he has lived there for more than 60 years. He eats McDonald's for breakfast every day and even picks cheap set meals. However, his generosity to charity far exceeds all the billions in dividends. In 2006, he and Bill Gates jointly launched a donation promise, promising to donate 99% of his wealth to charity. By 2023, he has donated more than $6.2 billion. At the end of 2024 and early 2025, he has added another $6.1 billion to his stock, which may continue to be used for charity in the future. Buffett's philosophy is that wealth is a responsibility, not the end. He hopes to influence more rich people through his actions, so that wealth can really change the world.